All right, there's a lot to look at here. It's the Astros stat update that I like to do periodically every few weeks just to kind of show where everybody is. As we all know, Tucker is leading the majors in home runs. Altuve and Alvarez both have 9, which is, low for Alvarez. He is in a slump, but he's still batting, like 240 and change. We'll get to that in a moment. Then Jake Meyers has 6 home runs, which is amazing for him, the production that we're getting. Pena and Singleton each have 5. So doing okay as a home run team. It's pretty spread out. It's nice to have that power throughout the lineup and, having that ability to just get that single run with a single player up and down the lineup. But I would have liked to see more from Diaz at this point. Singleton's been a nice surprise. Bregman's been a big disappointment. He has all of his big hits in 2 games. To bat 4th in the lineup, we'll get to that. Not a great idea. Tucker, 39 RBIs, and as much as Diaz got flack in the Angel series, he's number 2 with 23 RBIs. Alvarez has 22, Bregman has 21, Meyers has 21, and Pena has 21. Altuve and Dubon both have 20. Those guys need to be playing every day until we get out of this slump. In the most important series of the season so far, playing up against the number 1 seed in the division, 4 games, that's not when you mix up the lineup. I saw the lineup card as the game was starting yesterday, and I was like, well, crap. We're playing against the number 1 team in our division, and we're playing with one of the worst lineups I've seen us play with in a long time. It's Singleton or Abreu, not both. I understand giving Diaz the night off after having a rough series with the Angels, but he's your number 2 RBI guy. Caratini is amazing off the bench, and anytime that he's going to be hitting left-handed, I'm okay with him being in the lineup. But Singleton DHing over Diaz, no. How's Bregman going to be batting 4th with his production for the entire season, but Diaz is flat out benched as your 2nd RBI guy? That is just a bad idea. So let's see here. We have walks. Let's see who's getting those quality at-bats. I'm betting Singleton's on here. You have Tucker, Alvarez, Singleton, top 3. Bregman is number 4. Altuve is number 5. I'm surprised Altuve ever walks. I've seen him swing at some pitches that have just been rough, and I know that's his bread and butter. Who's striking out the most? Altuve, 41 strikeouts. Alvarez, 41 strikeouts. Tucker, 37 strikeouts. Singleton, 36 strikeouts. Pena, 34 strikeouts. 4 of those were yesterday. All 4 at-bats. Pena had a tough game yesterday. Stolen bases, I've gone over this before. We were told the Astros are going to be flying around the base paths this year. That was a lie. Tucker has 9. This is our Superman. This is what we got. We're in real trouble if we don't have Tucker on this team, and we're going to miss him when he's gone. Altuve with 8, Pena with 7, and then it drops down to 2s from there. Okay. Pena did really well in the 4th spot. No, he's not going to go out there and bash 30 home runs this year. I'd be shocked and pleasantly surprised if that happens. But he can double you up pretty good. He can hit with runners in scoring position. You know who else does? Dubon. Dubon does great with runners in scoring position. Dubon should be playing, in my opinion, every day. And guess what? He played first base just fine. Batting average, he's number 1. Low Perfido. But, he gets to go back down to the minor leagues because we want to make sure that we have Abreu and Singleton and Kessinger. Kessinger needs to sit on the bench. Bregman does not take a day off. Kessinger needs to sit on the bench, and we can't have him go down to the minors. But I will say this. I think Kessinger could put up Bregman's numbers to this point. Had he started the season, I have every bit of confidence that he could be batting 200 with 3 home runs. Low Perfido, 333. Dubon, 319. Why are these two not playing when we're struggling? I don't understand. Pena, 314, again, should be batting at the cleanup or second. Meyers, 300. Altuve, 295. Tucker, 276. Alvarez, 265. So, he hasn't been terrible, you guys. He's just not been Alvarez. Caratini, 261. Diaz, 255. Singleton, 234. McCormick, 222. Cabbage is obviously down now to AAA. Bregman, 206. He's batting better than Abreu. Kessinger and Amaya haven't had a turn, or haven't gotten a hit doing it. It looks like they've had 11 at-bats and no hits for Kessinger. Definitely deserves a spot on the lineup. Definitely should be, starting every day or at least on the 26-man roster. I mean, he has no hits and 11 at-bats and doesn't get any playing time. So definitely make sure Kessinger down here has a roster spot. Lou Perfito, go down to AAA. We need you having at-bats every day. Our major league team is struggling and really needs that 333 batting average. But you know what? We need you to getting at-bats every day in AAA. So you go ahead and go down. Kessinger, you can ride the pine and just get that paycheck. What kind of sense does any of this make? I've said before I blame the players for not performing. But right now, with the lineups I'm seeing and the positions that are being played and the frequencies and the people who are not being played, I'm blaming the management. Whether that's Espada or, how much, number 5, Bagwell is influencing this, or Dana Brown. Is he influencing this and who can play and who can be up and down? I don't know, but it's management's fault at this point. They put up the crappiest lineup of the season against the best team in the division when we're 3.5 games behind and we're playing them four times. That means statistically, we at least pass them if we sweep them. Best lineups go in, best pitchers go in, best guys come up and play. This is not the series to bring Abreu back in. If you want to bring him in, sit him on the bench. Let him get used to just being on the team again. Now, I will say this. He got a hit. He got an RBI. Looked as good as any of the other Houston batters yesterday. Okay? So I'm not bagging on Abreu, but I'm bagging on the management of saying you play the hot hands. You had a nice winning streak going. You'd won 15 of 18 games or something like that. That's the lineup you keep rolling with. You don't mess with it. Other teams aren't doing that. They're not saying, hey, we're winning 15 out of 18 games. Let's go ahead and mess with the lineup. No, it's ridiculous what I'm seeing out there. And I'm not saying that Lou Perfito needs to play every day, but I am saying that he would be possibly a pinch hitter later in the game. He has a good glove in the outfield, has a good arm. He's not the saving grace, but he is a guy that you can build into the rotation for sure. He might be the guy that you give him a couple at bats and then switch him out with McCormick or switch him out with another outfielder. Our outfield is stacked. Alvarez needs to be pinch hit or DHing, not pinch hitting, DHing. I know that he loves to play left field, but you have Tucker, you have Meyers. Where's Dubon going to play? You do want to play Altuve probably 5 games a week at least. So he's not going to play for Altuve every day. He needs to be in your lineup. He's one of your bigger producers, especially with how cold all the bats are. You can't take hot bats out. 319 is Dubon. That guy plays every day. I don't care how you rotate him. Give people breaks from the, fielding. Give Altuve a break from fielding. Be like, dude, we need to rest you. You're in your mid-30s. We need to make sure that you're not burnt out come October. But, right now, I'm like, are they planning on not making October? Is that what we're doing? Pena, how about as a leadoff hitter? He's fast. He's got a good batting average. He's having good at-bats. Meyers, maybe he can bat 5th. Dubon, maybe 6th, 7th at the latest. I hate to say it, but we move Altuve down to 2. He's your Second highest in home runs, tied with Alvarez. Why don't we put somebody on ahead of him? Pena, Altuve, Tucker, Alvarez, Meyers. I mean, that's a good-looking lineup. Sorry, Bregman, until you start hitting regularly, not 2 games, regularly, you have the second lowest active batting average next to Abreu. So that puts you at number 8. Go bat 8th. When you start hitting, then we'll move you up. Not start hitting for 2 games. Start hitting for multiple series. You're batting 8th. You're batting barely 200. Barely. You're hanging on. Abreu, if you're in the lineup, you're batting 9th. Period. You're batting 9th until this comes up, until you get it together. Too many times am I seeing Bregman up with runners in scoring position, or in the past, because it's just been 1 game, Abreu batting with runners in scoring position, and there's a pop out to the infield. There's a pop out to middle outfield. Not helping us. Strikeout from Bregman watching the ref call something on just outside the corners because he knows the strike zone better than the refs, but the refs are calling the strike zone they're calling, so they get to decide if he's out. Seen it a lot. He is walking more than I thought he was walking. But man, this is tough to watch. I mean, Bregman is number 12 in on-base percentage. I mean, statistically, not in the starting lineup. What are we doing? I'm telling you, Pena lead off, Altuve second, Tucker, Alvarez, Meyers, Dubon. I mean, that sounds like a great lineup so far. Diaz and Caratini, I mean, that could, go lefty-righty situation where Diaz is DHing if there's a righty in the lineup and Caratini can catch. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I mean, this might be completely insane and foreign. Maybe I'm just worried that we've lost so many of our games in the past week, and we're playing the top team for 3 more games in our division that I really want. I said in a previous video, I don't think we'll be in first place until June, beginning of June at the earliest. I was worried about going into that A's and Angels series. The Astros tend to drop games to the teams that they should be crushing. And that happened with the Angels. They won the series with the A's, and now they're playing the Mariners, and I just don't know if we have the starting pitching to get that done right now. And us throwing in ice-cold bats doesn't help. So is this season over? Not at all. Are we going to see better baseball? I think so. I hope so. But let me know what you think in the comments.